Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this video because the topic is quite sensitive and controversial. The book was written in 1955 and it was one of the most controversial books written in the 20th century. Now, this book had been on my shelf for years and years since I was a teenager, but I was never interested in picking it up. Cover artwork didn't speak to me, the title didn't speak to me, and I never bothered to look up what the book was about. Now, recently I've been seeing a lot of posts about this book and a lot of positive reviews, but I never quite looked it up. So a couple of weeks ago, I thought it was time to finally go ahead and read this book. I went in blind and my God, I was so shocked to find out what it was about. This book is not for everyone. Some readers are going to have a hard time to digest it emotionally. Usually I think it's a good thing to go in blind when reading a book, when picking up a book. But this time, I think it's a good idea to know beforehand what you're getting yourself into. The story is narrated by Humbert, weird name, and he is a professor in literature. He is in his 30s and he's looking for a new house to rent. While looking for a house, he meets a woman and her daughter, and Humbert immediately falls in love with the daughter of this woman, and so he decides he wants to rent the house and live there. Now the problem is that this daughter of this woman is still a child. She is, I think, 10 or 12. I don't know how old she is when Humbert meets her, but the story takes place mostly when Lolita, as he calls her, Lolita, is 12 years old. Her actual name is Dolores Hayes. But Humbert always calls her Lolita. Humbert's obsession with Lolita leads him to manipulate and deceive those around him only to be close to her. And the author really delves deep into the dark and disturbing nature of this obsession. And he portrays the psychological complexities of desire and the destructive consequences that can arise from unchecked passion. Humbert, our protagonist, is totally aware that his behavior is destructive and is wrong because he hides it from the world and from everyone. But what he constantly does is justifying his behavior. It is a very confronting book. It is very detailed. The relationship between Humbert and Lolita is described in a very detailed way. A lot of bad things happen to this girl, and I think especially when you're a parent, this book might be a bit too harsh and too difficult to read emotionally. As a reader, you get challenged because Humbert is trying to manipulate you as a reader. He manipulates every character in this book, but also you as a reader gets manipulated because you are inside his head and he constantly justifies his actions, and you get to experience the limits of your empathy, if that makes sense. The novel raises questions about the nature of good and evil, the boundaries of ethical behavior, and the capacity for redemption. As for the setting of this novel, it takes place mostly at the beginning in a house, and then as the novel progresses, Humbert and Lolita travel a lot, so they're on the road a lot, they are in motels a lot. The thing I admired most about this novel is the writing style. Nabokov is masterful with words. His style is beautiful and detailed and complex and thought-provoking. He uses metaphors and word play, and we follow Humbert in the first-person narrative while he explains everything that has happened to a jury. The atmosphere of this book is sad and depressing, and it is cruel and uncomfortable to read. And the themes of this book deal with desire, obsession, and morality. The timeline is mostly linear, but we sometimes get a flashback of Humbert's childhood. Would I recommend this book? Yes, but I would say to know beforehand what you're getting yourself into, because it can be triggering for a lot of readers, I think. But it is masterfully written. It is written so well. The edition that I'm holding is a Flemish version, so unfortunately I cannot read you guys a part of the novel or guide you through my quotes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.